SVGTV News and Sports this evening at 7. Government extends cost of living measures for another 3 months. Prime Minister Friday urges citizens to do their part to minimize impact of global economic crisis. CCJ urge to restore public trust amid internal conflict. Nepal floods leave hundreds missing, including people from 30 countries, as search and rescue operations continue. And in sports, a GT challenge set to bring 3 days of high-speed action to Barbados. These and other stories coming up in SVGTV News and Sports this evening at 7. Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Thursday, August 27, 2026. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday announced today that Cabinet has extended the government's cost of living measures introduced in May this year for a further 3 months as efforts continue to ease the financial burden on citizens amid the global economic crisis. The Prime Minister was responding to a question from opposition Senator Carlos James about the measures being taken to address rising inflation, particularly the impact of fuel price shocks. Prime Minister Friday said the government continues to observe some of the increased costs associated with fuel while also subsidizing selected commodities. He urged citizens to understand the magnitude of the economic pressures facing the country during this difficult period.
We at Cabinet approved the extension of the measures that were adopted in May to help to mitigate the rising costs for a further period of 90 days. Those measures that were implemented will continue. VINLEC will also continue to provide support to ensure that all of us, everybody, central government, VINLEC, the producer, and the general public, we all share a little bit of the cost, of the pain, that this situation that none of us created, that we were told over and over again would be short-term, but which continues to affect us in so many ways, that we all come together and play our part to ensure that we ride out this crisis, which is what it is, with the least damage possible to individual households and to the economy of the country overall.
The Prime Minister also announced that more than $67,000 is being provided in subsidies at the import warehouse for fertilizers to help farmers manage rising production costs and continue their operations.
That Cabinet granted approval to provide a subsidy in the amount of $67,871 to Agriculture Input Warehouse in support of this price stabilization measure. Because, Madam Speaker, well, the two fertilizers that we mentioned, the ones where the increases were greatest, and I'm told that farmers rely on most, is the triple superphosphate, where the previous cost was $56.99, which had increased to $80. We had a 41% increase, and similarly, urea had a 39% increase. So these measures, Madam Speaker, they are an effort to signal to the farmers that, yes, we know that you are feeling the impact of this crisis, and we are doing something.
The extended cost of living measures are expected to end in November 2026. Delta Airlines is considering a return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the upcoming winter season. The disclosure was made by Minister of Tourism Dr. Kishore Shaloo following the airline's announcement that it will discontinue its non-stop service between Atlanta and Argyle next month. Minister Shaloo was responding to a question from opposition Senator Kiesel Peters about whether the government had prior discussions with the airline and the reasons given for the suspension of the service. Dr. Shaloo said Delta was initially operating with low passenger numbers. He noted that during the first 3 months of the service in 2025, passenger numbers were low but have since increased. The minister said discussions with the airline have been successful and Delta is considering returning to SVG at a later date.
But Delta has cited the fact that, one, the anticipation, the projection, they have not met those in terms of numbers. They have also explained, and this is not unique to the Caribbean, the high fuel costs. It is simply a case where it is now unprofitable, right? Certainly to fly, 20-something times per month. They have also said that there's insufficient demand across for high premium traveling, and they have reduced across their entire network. They've reduced flights. So this is not unique in any way to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, I'm sure the Honorable Senator who asked the question will be comforted in knowing that Delta has admitted that based on what they have seen over the last few months, the momentum that they have seen and observed in the tourism sector here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they are quite open, right, to ensure that there's some service, not at the rate that they started, but that there are flights from ahead of the next week.
Meanwhile, Minister Shaloo disclosed that the new government inherited a debt of approximately $10 million owed to JetBlue. He stressed that the air connectivity provided by JetBlue is critical to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, particularly for tourism and the movement of people between SVG and key international markets.
JetBlue, for example, very important airline to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We entered in an agreement. Again, I'm talking about responsible leadership here. I don't know who negotiated that agreement on behalf of the government. I know for sure that no professional organization or consultant was used in that exercise. But even worse, Madam Speaker, you enter an agreement with an airline, and from 2024 to when you demitted office, you refuse to pay a bill, resulting in us owing that airline over $10 million today. That's a fact.
Who was the minister then?
That is why he was relegated by his own party.
In other local news now, we hear that there will be an enhanced focus on entrepreneurs at the Center for Enterprise Development, CED, with the completion of its 5-year strategic plan for 2026 to 2030. Officer in charge of CED, Keisha Phillips, said the strategic plan has attracted $4.6 million, with the bulk of the funding earmarked for entrepreneurship development, as CED seeks to prioritize micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, in its programs.
If we don't do that, we're always going to have maybe not the best people involved in business. Remember, doctors, lawyers don't generally create jobs. Large part of our economy is small, or micro, small, medium.
Direct program costs only, excluding staff and administrative overhead. Those are not included. Pillar 1, entrepreneurship development, carries the largest share at $3.3 million, reflecting its role as the foundation of our mandate. Pillar 2, access to finance, is next at $908,000. Pillar 4, institutional strengthening, and I'm bringing 4 before 3. Institutional strengthening is $372,600. And Pillar 3, ecosystem strengthening, is $335,400. Those are all US. Allocations across all 4 pillars grow year on year as the program scales.
The Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, supported the development of the strategic plan. CDB's operations officer for MSMEs in the private sector division, Alison Francis, said CD is now in a better position to provide MSMEs with the necessary tools and support to thrive.
Implementation framework and put in place, importantly, monitoring and evaluation, learning systems that can track results over time. Institutional strengthening is at the heart of the effort. A strong MSME sector requires a strong business support institution. For CED, this means having clearer systems, stronger governance, better use of data, improved client relationships, management, enhanced staff capacity, strong partnerships, and a more sustainable resource base. It also means being able to design services that respond to the real needs of entrepreneurs rather than relying only on one-off training or isolated projects. Importantly, the support also included practical training for CED staff to strengthen their ability to deliver consistent, high-quality business development services. This training focused on the use of standardized tools for client assessment, business diagnostics, to name a few. In addition, a suite of templates were also developed to support CED's day-to-day operations and services delivery. That included templates for business needs assessment, action plans, and again, monitoring and evaluation.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the CED Board of Directors, Luke Boye, called on the organization to work closely with the business community moving forward. He said he would like to see a greater advocacy for businesses and stressed that entrepreneurship should be treated as a professional career.
If we don't do that, we're always going to have maybe not the best people involved in business. Remember, doctors, lawyers don't generally create jobs. Large part of our economy is small or micro, small, medium enterprises. The strategic plan should not and does not exist in a vacuum, nor is it just an academic exercise. It requires the active participation and partnership of the MSME community with CED and other government entities. This isn't just a CED thing. The government must play their role. The other enabling mechanisms must be there, including the National Development Bank, as we just heard. This only works if entrepreneurs step up and use the opportunities and the skill set provided. It is of critical importance that our communities are knowledgeable of the services provided to MSMEs and that we deliver best in class. Success will breed success.
Senator and Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, Chieftain Neptune, challenged CED to fulfill its obligations to the fullest and meet the needs of entrepreneurs, which he said are critical to the development of the country's economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, a 5-year strategic plan isn't a trophy, it's a promise to the future. Today, I issue 3 challenges to CED. Own this plan. Measure relentlessly. Push goals higher. Train more entrepreneurs. Improve survival rates. To the private sector, see CED as a partner, not just as a government office. Mentor, collaborate, co-invest and let's prove that working together creates a competitive edge. To our development partners, especially CDB, stay committed. Your support helps us plan better, count better, act better. The next phase is about executing at scale, making sure every dollar and every hour of support translates into real change.
Discrepancies at 2 schools delayed 2026 CSEC results in SVG. This and other stories coming up when we return with more local news. Stay with us.
Welcome to C-Star,
Welcome to the upgraded C-Star Limited.
where we offer to almost all your household items.
They've expanded their range to sofas, dining and patio sets, beds and mattresses, wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, office furniture. That's just a few from the luxurious collection. Not forgetting their signature quality windows, doors, rails and bathroom enclosures. Journey on up to C-Star, where their friendly sales clerk is happy to assist. C-Star Limited, where quality meets style.
A funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
On Friday, August 28th, you can help realize your dreams with a lotto jackpot of $180,000. Your dream vacation, a university degree, that new ride, your new house can all suddenly be within your reach. What a little lotto can do. It's a lotto jackpot of $180,000. This Friday, August 28th, you have to be in it to win it.
Bowman's Pharmacy, why choose us? We have all the prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, personal care products, lowest price guaranteed. Located conveniently next to the Bank of SVG on Grenville Street. Opening hours Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Email us bowmanpharmacy@yahoo.com. Call us today at 456-2235 or 593-3918. Bowman's Pharmacy, easy to find and ready to serve you.
Welcome back. The delay in the announcement of the 2026 CSEC results in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was due to discrepancies at 2 schools. This was revealed by Minister of Education Philip Jackson in Parliament today as he congratulated students who were successful in this year's sit-in. Minister Jackson said the Ministry of Education is working closely with the Caribbean Examination Council CSEC and will provide an update to the public once clearance is received to release the outstanding results.
There was a general concern about results, the putting out the general results, but there was an important reason why that wasn't done. So I would like to inform the nation as to why you did not see the customary general results of the country. And it's simply because there were 2 major discrepancies for 2 schools on a number of subjects. And we discussed it internally and immediately informed CSEC who are rectifying that issue. And we thought it would have been premature to make those results with those discrepancies to the public, and then it might change your ranking in schools, how schools do in comparison with each other. So we're working assiduously with CSEC to resolve that matter, and as soon as that is finalized, we would make a press release on the final results.
The minister also noted that the CSEC results have been available through the CSEC portal since August 18, 2026, allowing students to access their individual results. A common misconception that police officers do not take action against their colleagues was addressed during WFM's Cop Chat program earlier today. Sergeant of Police Edison Smith dismissed the notion, explaining that police officers can be investigated and face disciplinary action when allegations are made against them. He stressed, however, that there must be solid evidence before action can be taken. Smith said the majority of police officers are sound individuals who conduct themselves professionally and remain committed to carrying out their duties.
There's a common misconception, and I always have to say it's a misconception, that police don't go against police. Let me say, we need to make some adjustments to that statement. Good police, professional police, will not stand idly by and watch a person, being abused. Exactly, being abused and trampling on their crown and their badge and their service and their uniform. We don't want good police that you have come into contact with. They have very strict morals and sound judgment. So you expect them to put a stand or intervene in some way, shape, or form. They are good police officers. The majority of the officers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are professional. They are morally sound people. They are people who there are a lot of persons that people look up to in the communities. So yes, we are officers that have sound judgment, and we're not going to watch our beloved institution, go down the drain because of rogue elements within the organization, if they are proven to be so. And I think we have made a very strong case in times past where persons who have flown very low beneath the what is expected of an officer have been dismissed many times.
Sergeant Smith further stated that cases are treated in the same manner regardless of who is involved, including when allegations are made against police officers.
We approach every case as an investigation, as an active investigation, follow the same evidence collection procedures and processes.
Against your own?
Against our own. And I mean, and I would start at that a little later. But when you come to the department, and a lot of persons don't really like to deal with police. I mean, I think it's a cultural thing, a regional thing. Do not get offended if we ask questions. You don't think you're going to come off the road and make an allegation against a police officer, a serious allegation, and not provide some modicum of proof to bear. We're going to ask questions. We'll ask it sensibly and with sensitivities and considering, but we have to ask. Don't get offended when we ask, or did you have any witnesses, or why do you why did you feel that way, or why did you perceive, like if you're saying that the officer threatened you, what was the threat? Did you feel that the person has the ability to carry out the threat? Why we would ask questions because it has to, as I say, it has to survive scrutiny.
Sergeant Smith's comments are intended to reinforce public confidence in the police service and clarify that officers are not automatically shielded from investigations or accountability when complaints are made against them. That's our local news from the region. When we return, stay with us.
The Ever-Ready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, They are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Everready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Everready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494, Everready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Welcome to Sunny Point Village. Meet the Vigilant Vincies and the Chill Bill family. Both are getting ready for the 2025 hurricane season, but in very different ways.
Okay, let's check our emergency kit. Flashlights, water, snacks, passports, and all our important documents.
Don't forget my toys.
Good job. We'll be safe and ready, no matter what the storm brings.
Storm? Hurricane? Them ain't so bad. We gonna be fine, man.
But Daddy, shouldn't we get ready?
We don't really get big storms here. St. Vincent is home of the blessed. Burial was just a one-off thing. Let's just watch cartoons.
When a storm arrives, things can change quickly. Be safe, be prepared. Ignoring the warning signs can make things much harder for you and your family.
A message from the Child Development Division in collaboration with UNICEF.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Welcome back. In our news from the region now, we hear that Trinidad and Tobago political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani is waiting on the controversy currently surrounding the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, the region's highest court. Professor Ghani believes the matter must be resolved in a manner that restores public confidence and trust in the institution, underscoring the importance of preserving the court's credibility and integrity. We hear more in this report.
The Caribbean Court of Justice is embroiled in a major internal conflict which has centered on allegations of panel fixing, judicial suppression, and has led to a leadership crisis. While a dress code issue triggered the controversy, the leaking of judges' private emails further escalated the matter. Political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani described the situation as one of grave concern and reiterated his opinion that the controversy has damaged public confidence and trust in the institution.
The issue of leakage of further emails or anything like that will be damaging. So the judges and the Chief Justice really need to get together and work this out in a way that is going to telegraph to the public that we have settled our differences and you can trust our judgments, and we're not involved in panel fixing, and we're not involved in, suppressing dissent in the court. And yes, we could have minority judgments and all of these things.
The internal conflict over the dress code became public when CCJ President Justice Winston Anderson drafted a judicial dress code to the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission in June.
All of these things, these are issues that really ought to have been settled, and none of this ought to have gotten to where it reached. The Regional Judicial and Legal Service Commission has a real task on its hands because it can investigate the judges, but it can't investigate the Chief Justice. And I think that, somebody has to decide who investigates the Chief Justice. How is this going to be resolved?
Professor Gani outlined the actions he believes are necessary for the Caribbean Court of Justice to regain public confidence and trust, stressing that key questions remain over who will handle the matter involving the Chief Justice and the path forward in addressing the issue.
Well, they have to demonstrate that there has been real healing and that they have come to some kind of resolution of all these differences, and for it to be manifested in such a way that the public would trust whatever is being put on show. I mean, if it is that they have not been able to resolve these differences, then you're going to have more problems.
The CCJ acts as an international court with exclusive authority to interpret and apply the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which applies to all 12 Caribbean Community member states. It also acts as the highest national court of appeal for Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Guyana, and St. Lucia.
That's all news from the region. The international news is coming up next. Stay with us.
Family store, we sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances, TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture, right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses, right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store that gives you the best hire purchase deals. Right here at Singer. We'll outfit your home. Right here at Singer. The #1 family store. It's us with Singer.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game. $307,000. That's the Super 6 jackpot for Friday, August 28th. It's $307,000. More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
It's not just the newspaper. It's not just online television. It's all that and more. Available free every weekday. SVG Today, your new multimedia daily publication. News and information free on your preferred platform. WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and online at svgtoday.com.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at QCare Pharmacy. QCare leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. QCare Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
Welcome back. On the international scene now, we hear that more than 1,000 people are missing and over 300 have died after flash floods in Nepal and China's Tibet region, with hundreds of foreigners missing. Witnesses reported a 10-meter surge down the Trishuli River. CCTV captured it hitting a border checkpoint, and satellite images show severe damage. We hear more in this report.
An elderly woman carried from the mud, which buried entire villages. The wall of water and debris came without warning, and as the desperate search goes on, dramatic stories of survival are starting to emerge.
I was at the terrace, and the flood hit the top floor as well. It only subsided after an hour or so. My wife was already buried in the mudslide while we stayed on the terrace for safety. After 4 or 5 hours, I was rescued by a helicopter.
This is the moment a torrent of water and rock rushed down the Trishuli River. Eyewitnesses estimate the wall of water was at least 10 metres high. CCTV capturing it hitting this border checkpoint between Nepal and Tibet. Satellite images of villages from before and after the flood show the scale of destruction on the landscape. Family members of the missing are gathering at hospitals in Kathmandu, hoping for news.
My family member has been missing since yesterday. I could not find his name on the missing persons list. Another family member is also still missing.
These mountainous areas are popular with international visitors. Hundreds of foreigners are among the missing.
Given the extremely difficult terrain of Nepal and those districts which are affected are very difficult to reach, inaccessible. We have heard that it's raining in the area and the communication lines have been cut off.
The Nepali and Chinese governments have both deployed emergency resources to the hardest hit areas. They'll soon be supported by international teams, including the South Koreans, who are sending response units to help with the aftermath.
We will do our utmost to ensure the swift and safe search and rescue of our nationals in Nepal.
But with heavy rain expected over the coming days and the challenges of deploying heavy equipment on narrow mountain roads, the search and rescue operation will be a long and difficult one. Kaylee Callahan, Al Jazeera.
Well, that's the news. Sport is just ahead, but before that, let's take a look at the local weather forecast.
The weather report sponsored by General Hardware.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale.
The weather report sponsored by General Hardware.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Present conditions, partly cloudy and slightly hazy, winds northeast at 17 kilometers per hour, temperature 28.6 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 78%. Barometric pressure 1013 millibars, 24-hour rainfall trace. Today's maximum temperature 30.5 degrees Celsius. Today's minimum temperature 25.6 degrees Celsius. The synopsis: unstable conditions will begin to affect the islands. The forecast: fair and slightly hazy at first, becoming occasionally cloudy with scattered showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms. The weather advisory: residents and motorists in areas prone to flash flooding and landslides or near rivers and streams should remain alert. The sea conditions: slight to moderate in open water with swells 1 meter to 1.8 meters. The marine advisory: small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution for above normal swells. The sunset 6:18 p.m. and sunrise will be at 5:53 a.m.
The weather report was sponsored by General Hardware.
Tourism has many benefits to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It creates growth and a boost in economic activities, infrastructure development, job creation, entrepreneurship, and is a source of foreign exchange earnings. Supermarkets and vendors, bars, restaurants, taxis, tour guides, hotels, service providers, and many more all benefit directly from income gained through the tourism industry. Taxes collected from visitors to our country help St. Vincent's economy and its growth. Tourism is everyone's business. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
welcome to the evening sports. I'm Triska Campbell. Where that the countdown is on as Bushy Park prepares to come alive with 3 days of full throttle motorsport action this weekend. The Fast Parts Caribbean GT Challenge, featuring round 4 of the GT Challenge de las Americas, is set to provide plenty of excitement for motorsport fans. CBC Sports has more on what's in store.
Guyana had the honor of hosting the first ever GT Challenge de las Americas round in the English-speaking Caribbean. Now it's Barbados' turn. The Fast Parts Caribbean GT Challenge roars into Bushy Park from August 28th to 30th as the series makes its way to the 2.01-kilometer international circuit for round 4. And if Ghana has set the bar, Barbados is ready to raise it. The 3-day meet will feature 2 30-minute GT Challenge de las Americas races, bringing high-powered machines and top drivers to the island. But there's plenty more on the schedule. Almost 40 entries are already confirmed across the 3 supporting categories, with local champions, rising stars, and international competitors prepared to go head-to-head. On the local front, 2-time champion driver Andrea Walcott returns in a Suzuki, while multiple class champion Snapper Husbands leads a strong Toyota Starlet Challenge alongside Danny Crony and Kurt Worrell. The former BP MSI champion Jeffrey Elliott is also back in his BMW M3. Then comes Adrenaline Rush Racing. 2 former BP MSI champions are in the mix. Jermaine Pope, the 2015 champion, and Mark Thompson, the 2020 champion. Mark's older brother Kurt, the 2012 champion at Old Bushy Park, has even more championship experience. And the international flavor continues with Trinidad and Tobago's Mazda Caribbean Spec Beata Series. 2-time champion Justin Wortman headlines the field, while 2023 champion David Coelho returns. Ryan Peru also brings a formidable Bushy Park record, including 14 Suzuki Swift Cup wins. And there's a twist. The 2024 Miata champion Christian Hope Dales won't be making the trip, but his Bushy Park winning Miata will, as Mark Thompson will take the wheel, setting up another battle with Peru. The GT Challenge de las Americas was founded in 2019 by Eduardo Aguila, who brings the best cars in Latin America together. This year, the series has expanded into the English-speaking Caribbean. Now, Ghana started the Caribbean chapter. Barbados is ready to keep it rolling. August 28th to 30th, Bushy Park is the place to be. Former champions, class winners, international drivers, and almost 40 entries, the Fast Parts Caribbean GT Challenge is coming, and the race is on.
St. Lucia Kings defeated Trinbago Knight Riders by 36 runs in match 17 of the Caribbean Premier League CPL, powered by Tim Surfett's unbeaten 105 and a decisive 3-wicket spell from Roston Chase. Seifert registered the first century of the CPL 2026, guiding the Kings to 211 for 4, the highest total of the tournament so far. He received support throughout the innings, while Shafid's Asalanka provided late acceleration with 3 consecutive sixes in the 17th over. Trinbago Knight Riders made a strong start to their chase, reaching 56 without loss in the power play, but Chase transformed the match with 3 wickets in 4 balls. Colin Monroe made 48 and Karen Pollard threatened a late fight back, but the Knight Riders finished on 175 for 6, leaving the Kings with a 36-run victory and back-to-back wins. The result lifted the Kings back to number 1, the second team to get to 8 points after Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. Knight Riders, meanwhile, are down at number 6. In some local football action now, Glenside Ball Blazers edged Formula FC 3-2 yesterday afternoon in the Diamonds Village Football Championship at the Diamonds Village playing field. Compitech One Experience and Twin Ballers played to a 3-all draw yesterday afternoon in the Caribbean Southeast Development Inc. SETI Football Championship at the Stubbs playing field. And the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force returned to winning ways by beating Hillview SC 4-2 in the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Barley Football Championship at the Curtains playing field yesterday afternoon. Victory scored a double in the 65th and 67th minutes for the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. The other two goals came from Ranju Benjamin in the 20th minute and Demarius Daniel in the 35th minute. Jeshan Samuel netted the 10th minute and Hasnel Hari in the 57th minute for Hillview SC. Terrence Williams was the star, scoring a hat-trick in the 8th, 34th and 36th minutes as Chateau FC beat Spring Village 3-1 yesterday afternoon in the Notleywood Football Championship at the Pittibodau playing field. That's all we end sports this evening. I'm Triska Campbell. We'll be right back to wrap things up.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices, then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Welcome back. Now for a second look at the headlines. A government extends measures adopted in May this year for a further 3 months to help Vincentians mitigate rising costs of living. Prime Minister Friday urges citizens to do their part to ride out the global economic crisis. CCJ urged to restore public trust amid internal conflict. Nepal floods leave hundreds missing, including people from 30 countries, as search and rescue operations continue. And in sports, a GT challenge set to bring 3 days of high-speed action to Barbados. Now for a recap of the local weather forecast.
The forecast is occasionally cloudy and slightly hazy with few showers.
On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Rochelle Batiste, inviting you to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also check out SVG-TV News in 15 weekdays at 12:45 p.m. Again, thanks for viewing. Enjoy the rest of the evening.